guys, welcome back to Jesus Joy Global. Today I want to share a dream with you. And I don't know about you, but I've been having a lot of dreams recently. And I am somewhat of a dreamer, but more so the past few months, I just feel like my dreams have just increased. I'm remembering a lot more of them. And every night before bed, I do ask the Lord to speak to me in my dreams. So I feel like that's a part of it as well. But basically, I had this dream on December 2nd of 2023. And in the dream, I was basically watching three women climb up like a ledge. It was a really steep cliff or a mountain. So as I'm watching these women climb, I noticed that they're struggling. And the reason is because they have things in their hands. So one of the women was trying to hold on to some type of bag. It almost looked like it had snacks in it, or it was really hard to tell in the dream. Basically, every single climber had things in their hands as they're trying to grip on to the ledge and ascend. These things in their hands were making it really difficult to actually grasp onto the ledge and move up. So as I'm watching this, they were ascending, but it was very slow and they were really struggling. And then the other thing was they would ascend a little bit and then sometimes they might slip back down a little because the things in their hands. So anyway, that was the scene that I saw. And I remembered that dream when I woke up in the morning and I wrote it down in my journal. And I just wanted to share with you guys what the Lord spoke to me about that dream. And I don't believe that every single dream that we have is from the Lord. Obviously, there's some that we do have that really hold a spiritual or a symbolic meaning, but that's something that I would take to the Lord. If you do have a dream, that you ask Him if there's meaning within that dream. So I just wanted to touch on a couple things that the Lord shared with me regarding this dream. So the first thing that the Lord spoke to me about this dream, He really highlighted clean hands. And there's a lot of scriptures in the Bible that talk about clean hands. So I kind of went through and I read a lot of them, but I just want to touch on a few of them here. The first one is Psalms chapter 24, verses 3 and 4. And it says, "Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in His holy place? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not trust in an idol or swear by a false god." And I absolutely love Psalms chapter 24. The whole chapter is amazing, but this is specifically talking about who can ascend the mountain of the Lord. Who is able to stand in His holy place? And in that dream, I was watching these women try to ascend this ledge, this mountain, and their hands were full. They had things that they were clinging onto in their hands. And so they really were struggling to ascend with strength and with ease because they had things in their hands. So that was the first key thing that the Lord just highlighted out of this dream was we need to be pursuing clean hands. And you might be asking yourself, what does it even mean to have clean hands? And I'm not talking about using soap and antibacterial soap here. This is spiritually speaking. This is speaking to the sin in our lives. This is speaking to the things that we might be holding on to that are hindering us ascending up higher in the Lord. These are things that maybe things in our flesh. It could be attitudes, just sin that we're struggling with. And when we're holding on to those things in our hands, it causes issues. It causes us to go at a slower pace. It holds us back from drawing up higher, from going up higher, spiritually speaking, in the Lord, because those things, like that sin, is like weights in a way. And just like in the dream, the things that they were holding in their hands, it was causing some of them to slip down. It was causing them to struggle climbing. So if you look at it in a spiritual aspect, it's basically the same thing. So when I'm talking about clean hands, I'm talking about living a righteous life before the Lord without sin, without compromise. And that's what he's looking for. And really, if you look at it from just a common sense aspect, isn't it much easier to climb without anything in your hands? You're able to grip the ledge, that next step. You're able to focus on where you're going if you're not trying to hold on to something in your hands. And it's the same with our relationship with the Lord. How can we ascend up higher? How can we draw closer to Him if we're clinging on to things from our old life, from our past? It's the same thing. And then in Job chapter 17, verse 9, it says, "Nevertheless, the righteous will hold to their ways, and those with clean hands will grow stronger." And that's exactly it. The less we cling and hold on to, the faster, the stronger, the more effective, the more efficient we will be for the Lord when we aren't holding on to things. In James chapter 4, verse 8, it says, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." So another key takeaway from this dream is the closer we draw to the Lord, the cleaner our hands will be. And I'm sure many of you can relate to this, but as you draw closer to the Lord and He draws closer to you and your relationship develops and grows, that closeness will cause you to let go of sin. It will cause you to want to live righteous. That sin that maybe you've struggled with for years, you'll find it no longer appealing. You'll actually begin to find it repulsive. And you'll look back and you'll think, how did I ever like those things? Or how did I ever like that type of music? And you fill in the blank. But as you draw close to the Lord, everything changes. Our desires shift. And if we want to keep going higher, if we want to keep drawing closer to Him, we'll do anything to not slip back into that flesh nature, into our old ways and the sin that we were ensnared in before. And just like it says in James chapter 4, verse 8 about being double-minded, it actually made me think of this. Maybe you're trying to ascend that mountain. You're trying to draw closer to the Lord, but you're also trying to hold on to sin and things from your old life. And how can you do both of those at the same time? You really can't do both of those things. Either you're going to end up slipping back down into your former ways, or you're going to release the things from your hands, get rid of the sin in your life, and you're going to start ascending and not descending. So just to recap on this dream, the Lord highlighted having clean hands so we don't have sin hindering us from ascending the mountain of the Lord, drawing us closer to Him. Secondly, when we draw close to the Lord, our desire for that sin, for that thing that we're clinging on to, it will grow less and less and less. As we become more righteous, that sin will become disgusting in our eyes. We won't want to cling on to that sin any longer. Another key point is that thing that we might be holding on to in our hand, we have to let that go in order to ascend up higher with our relationship with the Lord. We cannot cling on to the sin in our life. We have to let it go if we want to actually move forward the way that the Lord wants us to. And He will strengthen us to let those things go. He's not asking you to give up certain things or maybe an addiction or something on your own. He will partner with you in that, but He's asking for your yes today. He's asking for you to examine what is in your hands. Go to Him today in prayer and ask Him, Lord, Is there something in my hands? Is there something that I'm holding on to that you want me to let go of today? Go to him and ask him. And as he showed me these things in this dream, I asked him that very same question. So I just wanted to share this with you guys today. I want all of us to draw closer to the Lord. I want all of us to ascend higher. I want all of us to let go of the sin and the things in our lives that are holding us back. We are in a time where we need to be able to run hard and fast and efficient for the Lord. So God bless you guys today. I hope you're having a great week. Do want to ask you guys if you could pray for me. I've been having some back and hip pain and stuff this week. It's really been hard. I was pretty much in bed all day yesterday. So if you guys could just pray for me, I would appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. Talk to you soon. And until next time, we'll see ya.